Hi, kids. Okay, next film in Stanley Kubrick's filmography is Lolita, released in 1962. It is based on Vladimir Nabokov's 1955 novel, a novel that he, I think, finished writing around 1953. Didn't get published till 1955. Even then, didn't really get noticed much. No one didn't wanted to touch it because of the subject matter, controversial. It was banned in parts of the world. Wasn't published in the UK until 1959. But Kubrick and Harris, their partnership, they had the rights to it pretty much right away, wanting to make it for quite some time. In fact, I mentioned that Kubrick had a couple projects that he had worked on that didn't get very far when he was called to ask to work on Spartacus. One of those projects that he was working on was Marlon Brando's One-Eyed Jacks. He ultimately left the production for that. Not quite sure of the reasons. Um, and when he left, he announced that his next project would be Lolita. But then he ends up making Spartacus instead. Now he finally gets to make Lolita. Kubrick, pretty much all of his films are based on novels or become novels. We'll get to that soon. So very respectful of authors. We've seen him hire several authors who are not screenwriters to attempt to write the screenplay. So he let Nabokov have a crack at writing the screenplay for Lolita. Nabokov turned in his screenplay, and it was 400 pages long, which is very, very long. Like filmed, I think that works out to like 7 hours, 8 hours. So Kubrick and Harris went through and they just cut it down. They trimmed it. Um, they made it cinematic. They do what Kubrick does. Um, and then he involved Nabokov in the casting as well. So we have a cast here of James Mason, there's Peter Sellers, there's Shelley Winters, and then for Lolita herself, they found young actress Sue Lyon, 14 years old, or about 14 around filming. Uh, Sue Lyon is no longer with us, but Michelle Phillips has come forward in years since Sue Lyon has passed, said that because they two were friends, Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, uh, they were young girls together in California. She said that Sue Lyon told her that she had a sexual relationship with James B. Harris, the producer. So Sue Lyon is about 14 at this time. Harris is 32. Harris is still alive, and they've asked him about it. He has not commented, which isn't great, maybe. This is the last film produced by Harris. This film was shot in the UK, um, and then Stanley stayed there. And the rest of his films, pretty much, he produces. He does a little bit far, or not too far from his house. Harris would go on, produce films, and direct films of himself. So who knows if any of that had anything to do with why uh, they were no longer a partnership. Maybe Kubrick just wanted his own control or more control, his own say. I don't know. So because of the subject matter of Lolita, they had to make certain concessions with the production code, of course, things that they could not show or could not hint at too heavily. And then they also, they didn't have to, but they chose to um, make concessions with the Legion of Decency, because the Legion of Decency in 1962 told people that not to see your film. There's a large percentage of the audience, larger than probably today, that would not go see your film, and they want people to see their film. And then because of the subject matter, there was, for once, Kubrick had a film that was mixed critical reactions, or that critics just wouldn't see. um, based on the subject matter. But didn't do too bad at the box office. Made $9.2 million. Only had a $2 million budget. Kubrick knows, even though he shoots for a long time, all those takes, he knows how to keep it a tight budget, mostly, except for maybe one exception. So also, Nabokov, for his 400-page screenplay, was nominated for adapted screenplay at the Academy Awards. So quite often we see these writers not happy with what Kubrick did. They get credit for the screenplay anyways, and then they get nominated anyways for the fixes he made. Nabokov understood though. Nabokov was not. There's a writer for once. Not upset with Kubrick. He understands that the novel and a film are two completely different things, and changing one does not change the other. Anyways, that is it for Lolita. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Bye.